Is there going to be a post-trib rapture? Is there going to be a mid-trib rapture? Or is there going to be a post-trib rapture? Well, my friends, brethren, sisters in Christ, it's very, very simple. By doing one thing, you can fully understand what's going to happen, when it's going to happen, and when it will and definitely take place. You know, many people today go to church, and from what I've been studying, the pre-tribulation rapture doctrine that's been taught in those church is nothing but a deception. According to Matthew 24:21. Let me open my Bible here and I will start talking here. Just give me a minute. Got to get the verse. Let's see. All right. Let's see. Anyway, sorry for it's not much dead air here, but I, amongst other people who believe in a post-tribulation rapture, because, see, at one time, I went to a church where I was taught that there's going to be a pre-tribulation rapture. But in recent weeks, as I've been studying, I found out that's just not the case. Because according to what Jesus says in Matthew 24, verses 1 and following. Jesus left the temple, was walking away when his disciples came to him to call his attention to its buildings. Do you see all these things? He asked. Truly, I tell you, not one stone here will be left on another. Everyone will be thrown down. Here he's saying that AD 70 temple will be destroyed. But, you know, the Pharisees and the Sadducees, they thought different. They thought of his teachings as blasphemous teachings. Anyways, we go on down here. As Jesus was sitting on a mountain of olives, the disciples came to him privately. Tell us, they said, when will this happen, and what will be the sign of your coming and of the end of the age? Ah, what's the sign of his coming and the end of the age? Jesus answered, watch out that no one deceives you, for many will come in my name claiming I am the Messiah, and will deceive many, as we are seeing here on YouTube with these fake, false, end of the world prediction videos. It's nothing but Satan doing that. For many will come, I read that already, and will deceive many. You will hear of wars and rumors of wars. Ah, is or is that not going on right now? My beloved, it's simple to understand. Jesus is saying here, hasn't it not one time clicked with you, brethren and sisters of Christ? Because I know it's clicked with me. But see to it that you are not alarmed. Such things must happen, but end is still to come. Aha! What he's saying, rumors of wars and of wars is somewhat going on right now, but the end is not yet. See, people, when they read Matthew 24, they take Matthew 24 out of concept and they tend to think, it's going on, so the coming of the Messiah is soon. No. We are his elect. We have to go through that 7-year tribulation. It's very simple to understand. To most, they don't want to understand because of what they're being taught. Little do they know, they are being deceived. Nation will rise against nation and kingdom against kingdom. There will be famines and earthquakes in various places. All these are the beginning of birth pains. Then you will be handed over to be persecuted and put to death, and you will be hated by all nations because of me. At that time, many will turn away from the faith and will betray and hate each other. And many false prophets will appear and deceive many people. I'm not one of them. Let me make that clear right now. Because of the increase of wickedness, the love of most will grow cold. Now, this is the NIV I'm reading because I could better understand NIV standard. But the one who stands firm to the end will be saved. And this gospel of the kingdom will be preached in the whole world as a testimony to all nations, and then the end will come. Aha! We have to teach the gospel to all nations during this great period. As we know, the great falling away has to come first, and that's not far from behind. If people keep believing in something that they are being led to believe that is a deception, when will they ever learn? When it's too late? I hope not. And this gospel of the kingdom will be preached in the whole world as a testimony to all nations. And then the end will come. So, when you see standing in the holy place the abomination that causes desolation spoken through the prophet Daniel, let the reader understand. Daniel prophesied the 4 beasts of Revelations. The Antichrist is idolized by the little horn that's mentioned in Daniel, that Daniel mentions in his dream. He mentions 4 beasts, one with 3 horns and a little horn. The little horn is that supposed is the Antichrist. I cannot stress that enough. Then, let those anyways, folks, it's a very simple verse to understand, and it's very simple to not take this out of concept. You take it out of concept, you've gone too far. Spoken of through the prophet Daniel, let the reader understand that let those who are in Judea flee to the mountains. Let no one on the housetop go down to take anything out the house. Let no one in the field go back to get their cloak. How dreadful it will be in those days for pregnant women and nursing mothers. Pray that your flight will not take place in winter or on the Sabbath, for then there will be great distress unequaled from the beginning of the world until now and never to be equaled. If those days had not been cut short, no one would survive, but for the sake of the elect, those days will be shortened. At that time, if anyone says to you, look, here's the Messiah, or there he is, do not believe it. For false messiahs and false prophets will appear and perform great signs and wonders to deceive, if possible, even the elect. See, I have told you ahead of time. So if anyone tells you, there he is out in the wilderness, do not go out, or here he is in the inner rooms, do not believe it. For as lightning that comes from the east is visible even in the west, so will the coming of the Son of Man. My beloved, we will see him coming in the clouds of heaven. We will still be here. We have to endure that 7 years in order to get the great reward. Some will be persecuted, some will survive. It's no if. It's either you survive or you die. You refuse to take that mark of the beast, or for if you take that mark of the beast, you shall be deceived. So will be the coming of the Son of Man. Wherever there is a carcass, there the vultures will gather. My beloved, here is the verse that many pastors take out a concept. Immediately after the distress of those days. Notice how he said after, not before, not in between, but after. The sun will be darkened, and the moon will not give its light. The stars will fall from the sky, and the heavenly bodies will be shaken. Then will the sign of the Son of Man in heaven, then will appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven, and then all the peoples of the earth, meaning us, the elect, will mourn when they see the Son of Man coming on the clouds of heaven with power and great glory. And he will send his angels with a loud trumpet call, and they will gather his elect, us, from the four winds, from one end of the heavens to the other. Now, learn this lesson from the fig tree. As soon as its twigs get tender and its leaves come out, you know that summer is near. Even so, when you see all these things, you know that it is near, right at the door. Truly, I tell you, this generation will certainly not pass away until all these things have happened. Heaven and earth will pass away, but my words will never pass. That's a powerful verse right there, and he's right. Heaven and earth will pass away. We will be with him, but not before, not in the middle, but after the tribulation. The day and hour unknown. But about that day or hour, no one knows, not even the angels in heaven, nor the Son, but only the Father. As it was in the days of Noah, so it will be at the coming of the Son of Man. For in the days before the flood, people were eating and drinking and marrying and giving in marriage up to the day Noah entered the ark. And they knew nothing about what would happen until the flood came and took them all away. That is how it will be at the coming of the Son of Man. 2 men will be in the field, one will be taken, and the other left. 2 women will be grinding with a handmill, one will be taken, the other left. My beloved, I can't stress to you enough. There is no pre-tribulation rapture. That's a deception. That doctrine is nowhere in the scriptures, not even in Thessalonians, not even in Matthew 24, not even in Revelations 19. The simple fact of the matter is, there's no pre, there's no middle, only post-tribulation. 7 years we must endure, and after those 7 years, for the reward will be great. Have a blessed night, and I hope this video helps some along the way.